Good evening and welcome to the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we are live from Studio Vanguard and we are linked in with the following repeaters:
Jersey, Flagship, Peachtree, Noonan, Toccoa, McDonough, Rome, Columbus, Salicoa Ridge, Zebulon, Ocala, Watkinsville, Dallas, Lookout Mountain, Mount Roosevelt, Fort Mountain, Chattanooga, White Oak Mountain, Cades Cove, Georgetown, Ottawa, and of course our VoIP service, Zello.
Tonight our RF coverage is a pretty big deal. Let me break. This net takes place every Thursday evening at 7:30 p.m. I would like to thank everyone who has made the North Georgia GMRS the most expansive and active GMRS network in the country. Your net control tonight is Atlanta 947, WQYR 514. My name is Julie.
In Atlanta 946, WQYR 514. My name is Justin.
And WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63, my name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750, WRMR 367, my name is Jeff.
On the net, you can talk about your day's activities, radio equipment, or anything you think we would like to hear. This is a family-based network, so we would encourage you to get your family involved. Guest check-ins are welcome from anyone with a valid FCC call sign. Once the floor is open, it is permissible to address other members of the net by name or tactical unit number. Your FCC call sign is only required when you sign in and when you sign out of the net. Also, you can tune in to our YouTube channel and follow along, or even better, tune in after the net to watch your appearance on the network and hear how you sound to us right here in Studio Vanguard. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment so we know you are watching. These interactions mean the most to help our new channel grow. So, I guess we're going to do announcements.
Well, we'll talk about the topic this week, and Jeff's going to switch the camera to me so that we can do a little swapperoo in the chairs there. And while that happens, I'm going to talk about our lifetime members. Tonight's program is really to honor our lifetime members. So we'll be reading a roll call of all 45 of the North Georgia GMRS lifetime members.
We're up to 45 now?
Yes.
That's
yes.
impressive.
We had 4 new lifetime members just in October.
No kidding.
So it's been a pretty phenomenal growth in the lifetime membership ranks. And but with that, before we get to that, let's go ahead and we're gonna go through the announcements. What are we calling the announcements this week?
They have a new name. They've evolved from Ketchup with Kate to Mustard with Mike to
Meals with Melissa.
Mail with Melissa.
Mail with Melissa.
I had to check and make sure we went with that and not Mayo.
Mayo would have been
to keep it in the condiment family.
All right, Melissa, you're up.
All right, this is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 64, Melissa from Studio Vanguard with this week's Mail with Melissa. It's lunchtime, or it would seem these are various North Georgia GMRS gatherings. We hope you'll be able to attend one or more of these gatherings. The next West Side Luncheon at Taco Mac will be the second Saturday in December. Join the Rabbit Hole Gang at 11 a.m. on December 14th. The Northeast Brunch will be having their next lunch meetup at Rooster's Cafe in Dahlonega on Wednesday, December 18th at 11 a.m. All North Georgia GMRS members are welcome. Hopefully we can get out on the patio if the weather permits. For information, contact Bobby, Atlanta 403, or Joe, Gainesville 44. Peachtree Corners Brunch Bunch will be meeting December 21st at JR's Log House Restaurant at 6601 Peachtree Industrial Boulevard in Peachtree Corners, Georgia. We plan to arrive around noon. Breakfast will be served until 2 p.m. on Saturday. Check out the menu online at www.jrsloghouse.com. Guaranteed your stomach will be full of good victuals, and maybe an afternoon nap will be in order. So let's laugh, make new friends, and enjoy the casual rustic atmosphere. But wait, there's more. There will be some surprises in store for everyone who comes, including your +1 or more. So bring your smiling faces, and we look forward to seeing you. Let me break for lunch. The Kennesaw Gathering will meet next for lunch on January 14th at noon and continue on the second Tuesday of each month at Old Town Tavern and Grill, located at 2500 Cobb Parkway Northwest, around the block from the McCullum Airport. Please reach out to Ed, Atlanta557, on air or via email at wrqg806@gmail.com if you are planning to attend, so we have enough seats for all. Let me break. And now on to the nets. The annual Santa Net will be happening on Monday, December 16th at 7 p.m. We want to remind our members and ask that we gather our children and our grandchildren for this amazing opportunity to talk directly with Santa at the North Pole. A child does not need a tactical unit number or a membership. A licensed GMRS user can and should supervise and assist the child as needed. All youth are welcomed and encouraged to ask Santa any questions they have about the magic of Christmas, and to tell Santa what they're hoping for most for Christmas. The Rabbit Hole Net will be taking its next rotation off as they prepare for Christmas. Last-minute shopping and the hustle and the bustle of the holiday will be enough for the Rabbit Hole gang. But we're going to be anxious for their return on January 5th, 2025. Remember when we had to train our brains to rewrite the new year on our checks? It's coming up again. Ladies Net. Ladies, the New Year's Net will be on January 6th, 2025. Check-ins start at 7:30 p.m. and the topic's going to be New Year's resolutions. Tuesdays on the northern region of the network features our Skywarn Net. This is a training net for Skywarn spotters and is available only on the northern portion of the North Georgia GMRS Network. Wednesdays feature a short ERC net at 8 p.m. or at 8 o'clock. This is a roll call net and is closed to North Georgia GMRS members. This net is for ERC members only. Please refrain from checking into this net unless you are a ERC member. There is also a net on Thursday nights. It's not very interesting, but the announcement segment is pretty cool.
Isn't that the truth?
The Friday night at 9 Simplex Challenge every Friday night starting at 8 p.m. on the Monument Repeater. Join your hosts Dana, Atlanta 250, and Jonathan, Gainesville 58, and test your radio's reach in the world of Simplex. We hope to hear you there, and together we will practice the plan. The Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club continues to offer free classes and workshops on a variety of topics. Check their website at w4am.net for a new list of classes and workshops coming out soon. But that's not...
Sorry about that.
But that's not all. We also have some exciting upcoming events. TechFest on January 11th, 2025. The GARS Tech Fest is a free annual event specifically geared towards amateur radio enthusiasts. This event provides an excellent opportunity for individuals to learn about the latest developments in amateur radio technology, to share their knowledge and experience, and network with other amateur radio operators. Attendees can expect to see demonstrations of various types of equipment and attend presentation and workshops on a variety of topics. This is great for anyone who is interested in amateur radio, whether you're a seasoned operator or just getting started. Attending the GARS Tech Fest is an excellent way to learn more about the hobby, make new contacts, and discover new ways to use amateur radio technology. So if you're passionate about amateur radio and want to stay up to date on the latest advancements, then attending the GARS Fest Saturday, January 11th, 2025. It's open to the public at 8:30 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. Ham exams will happen between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., forums from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., lunch from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the final prize drawing at 3:15 p.m. Just one more Thursday evening net this year. Next week's net will be on our final Thursday evening net of 2024. If you have any questions or comments or delicious news to share, please send an email to Kate at NGGMRS.org. Have a great holiday, everyone, and let's give Kate some awesome announcements to make it when we come back in January. My apologies. We are North Georgia GMRS. This is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 64. My name is Melissa, and I will give it back to you, Net Control.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Melissa. And with that, once our producer switches the cameras, asleep at the switch over there, we'll swap chairs here and get our next person up and ready for what is next.
It's a full house tonight.
It is a full house. Melissa did a great job with announcements. You know, to add to the announcements, just a couple of quick things. The Tech Fest, North Georgia GMRS will be there.
What is the Tech Fest?
So the Tech Fest is at the same place that the Stone Mountain Ham Fest.
Okay, at the fairgrounds.
But at the fairgrounds. It's a smaller event. It's usually just inside of the exhibition hall. There will be radio clubs there. There will be a few vendors there. We will be there. Hobbit Communications will be there.
It's also going to be a full house.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what our configuration or what all we're bringing or who all is going to be there with North Georgia GMRS, but we'll be looking for some people that want to volunteer to work at the booth and just share what we are with the general public. And so it's free. There's no cost to attend or to exhibit. So if you have something that you think you would like to show at the GARS Tech Fest, just reach out to the GARS Radio Club and let them know you'd like to attend. So that's coming up. Also, I want to emphasize we've got the Santa Net coming up on December 16. That's Monday. It's coming right up.
4 days from now.
So right now, tonight is the time to call the kids and say you need to have the grandkids over on Monday night. And or make plans to make sure that the kids are available and that your radio is ready for the kids to talk to the actual real Santa. Santa will be tuning in from the North Pole. I noticed earlier today that Bernard and company were doing some testing with the North Pole node. So cool to see that popping online and getting things ready for the Santa Net on Monday, December 16 at 7 p.m. So hope to have lots of children engaged and an opportunity to, and Santa tells some great stories. There's things that I never knew about how Santa does, some of the stuff that he does in terms of making all those deliveries around the world, how he gets in and out through people's chimneys. And the milk and cookies stuff, there's some fantastic things.
Using the feather?
The feather, yeah. There's some fantastic things to learn. So even as adults, the Santa Net can be very, very enjoyable. Let me break. And with that, let's hand things over to Julie for this week's episode of Julie's Tips.
Thank you for that. This is WQIR 514. My name is Julie, and I am Atlanta 947 with this week's New User Tips and Operating Procedure segment. This week, we'll talk about member support. Sometimes we are asked why a membership is required to use the North Georgia GMRS network. We often hear the airwaves should be free, and for the most part they are. Your GMRS license gives you access to the same frequencies members use to access this network. And the truth is, we welcome non-members to explore the network. It's our try before you buy philosophy. The last thing we want is for someone to spend money on the network and be unhappy with their investment. But here is what usually happens. Members find the value of a North Georgia GMRS Network membership to be far greater than the dollars they spend. Many people contribute above and beyond their membership dues with additional donations of money, equipment, services, and time. Several members donate funds to be sure those in need of help in covering their membership dues can have a membership paid in full, even if it's paid by another member. We truly want everyone who desires to be a part of this network to have that opportunity. Lifetime members offer a greater commitment and provide capital that can be used to acquire materials that demand a greater investment. Many lifetime members provide support beyond the initial dues with additional donations. Lifetime memberships are a huge benefit to North Georgia GMRS and a benefit to those who choose to make that investment. No worries of forgetting to renew, no worries of losing their tag numbers or running out of them. That's what we hear most often from a lifetime members, is that it's nice not having to worry about renewal. With over 24 commercial grade repeaters located throughout the region, our cost for maintaining these sites is significant. It's hard to imagine that prior to 2017, Gary bore the majority of these costs from his own income, and even though he had some help, it was nowhere near the annual expenditure for the network. In 2017, we reorganized NGGMRS to the membership model that is in play today. The dues we pay to be members of North Georgia GMRS are used to maintain the sites we operate. Those funds cover rent, utilities, maintenance, and equipment depreciation. While all of the North Georgia GMRS network repeaters are commercial grade machines, some were very old when they came into service for North Georgia GMRS. While they have and continue to perform admirably, concern grows for their future. We anticipate over the next few years some changes in GMRS, and while we hope to have a voice in shaping some of those changes, we expect they will include narrow banding and perhaps some digital modes such as DMR or something similar. Let me break. Those old machines just won't do. We've also found needed improvements to our linking equipment and have been updating sites with new hardware, and we continue to find improvements and opportunities for upgrades throughout the system. It's a large network, and we have a larger coverage area than some of the biggest network TV stations. This means travel time to some sites is significant and in some cases require an overnight stay. As the network has grown, so have the expenses. However, the membership has met that need time and again. Those expenses continue to grow, and our membership has also grown. With that growth, we've been able to draw from a larger pool of talent and volunteers and are now able to produce nets for a wide variety of listeners, covering an endless list of subjects. In time, and as opportunities continue to develop, we hope to find some talent for Thursday nights. But until that happens, you're stuck with these guys. The entire staff of North Georgia GMRS Network, the engineers, technicians, groundskeepers, net control operators, R&D staff, even the Hobbit in charge, all are volunteers. Many of us contribute our time and more to make this the largest, most advanced GMRS network in the country. If you have any questions or suggestions for new user tips and operating procedures, send me a note at julie@ngGMRS.org. We are North Georgia GMRS Network, and this is Atlanta 947 WQIR 514. My name is Julie. Back to net control.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Julie. And if you'll stick around here for just a moment, I would like to go ahead and go through the roster of our lifetime members. What I'd like to do is I'll read the first 5, and then I'd like to hand off the next 5 members to you. And then Mike can do the third group of members. And then Jeff, if you'll read the fourth, and then we'll cycle through again.
Okay, how do I get that list pulled up?
I guess I'm the only one with a list, so that's interesting.
That is.
Yeah, that plan's not going to work. Looks like I'm good.
I guess so.
Well, Julie, you'll just have to come over. Never mind. All right. Well, let's go ahead and do this. This is the order that lifetime members have come to North Georgia GMRS, and our very first lifetime member was Todd Bowden. Atlanta 47 became a lifetime member in 2021. Daniel Tamburino became a member in 2021. That's Atlanta 267. William Galloway, Atlanta 420, also 2021. We had Alfonso Cornelius, Atlanta 912 in 2021. Charlie Victor 2 times, CV Smith, Gainesville 285. Also one of our earliest lifetime members in 2021. Pete Siebold, Blue Ridge 83 is a lifetime member. James Hawthorne, Atlanta 770, a lifetime member. Dan Huffman, Atlanta 308, a lifetime member. Bruce Holmes, McDonough 39, also a lifetime member. Maureen Alley, Atlanta 956. Maureen had to move to Texas, but she remains a lifetime member with North Georgia GMRS. John Wolf, Atlanta 810, was our last 2021 lifetime member. In 2022, we gained Ed, and I'm going to say his last name incorrectly, but I'm going to try it anyway. Dion. Ed Dion is Chattanooga 007. We have Chad Cohn, Atlanta 800. We have Mark Newton, Atlanta 50. We have Jeff Karen, Atlanta 750. Jared Bloomer at McDonough 134. Todd Elliott, Atlanta 1402. And Dave Thornton, Atlanta 201. Were 2023 members. I have some more 2023s. Oh, those were all 2022 members. 2023, we had Gary Beckstead Jr. Jr. became a lifetime member in 2023. Tom Watley, Blue Ridge 20. Amy Grammer, Atlanta 651. Shannon Shockley, Noonan 33. Chris Lucas, Atlanta 66. Jennifer Unzer, Atlanta 430. Sam Peng, Atlanta 322. Michael Warnke, Atlanta 988. And Uncle Mike from up around Cherry Log, Blue Ridge 549. All are 2023 lifetime members. Let me break. Also a 2023 member, we have Shannon Sims, Atlanta 551. Walter Hill, Atlanta 758. Philip Sutherland, Chattanooga 220. Scott Fowler, Atlanta 1180. Matt Barr, Blue Ridge 181. Jeffrey Baum, Atlanta 980. David Waits, Dallas 37. Tom Kirkbride, Noonan 44. Philip Hager, Atlanta 26. That would be Flip. Mike Beauchamp, Blue Ridge 63. Timo Kirchner, Atlanta 1415. Those were all 2023 lifetime members. And in 2024, we had that guy, Justin Byerly, Atlanta 946.
946.
Yeah, he somehow found his way into that list. We have Kathleen, actually it's Dale, Todd, Atlanta 870. Anthony Perellas, Atlanta 565. David Pugh, Atlanta 610. Jack Parks, Noonan 75. And finally, we have Stephen Sauls, Atlanta 314. All 2024 lifetime members. So thanks to each and every one of those lifetime members for the support of this network, the investments that they've made, and the opportunities that they present for North Georgia GMRS to make capital purchases and advances in technology and help us to be where we are now.
What was that total number again?
I'm showing 44 on this list. I thought it was 45. Hopefully I haven't missed one. There is one more. That's interesting that got cut off. So William Fisher, Atlanta 738. William Fisher is the last one.
There we go. Number 45.
Number 45. So good stuff. Those are the lifetime members of North Georgia GMRS Network. All right. Should we see about some check-ins?
We should take some more check-ins.
All right. Let's go ahead and try Zello check-ins one more time. Anyone using the Zello app with the voice over IP portion of North Georgia GMRS, go ahead and try a check-in now. We'll leave a long and awkward pause. So RF check-ins, please hold your traffic for Zello only.
This is WSFK 802, Atlanta 1130. My name is James from Marietta.
All right. Was that RF or was that...
That was Zello.
Good. All right. We heard Atlanta 1130, James in Marietta. We've got you in the log for now. If that was supposed to be an in and out, we'll figure it out later. It'll be fine. Also, there's a McDonough 64. Kathy is in Jackson, is a YouTube check-in. There's a whole list of YouTube check-ins here. Let me see if I can catch up on those. So let's see. Did we? I don't remember acknowledging.
Right there with Larry.
Right there with Larry. Okay. So we have WRWB802 Larry in Colorado from YouTube. We have Atlanta 263 Rogers in Dunwoody as a YouTube check-in. Rome 12 Mark in Rome, a YouTube check-in. Dallas 16 Mike from Dallas, a YouTube check-in. We have WPYW 627 Scott from upstate New York is a YouTube check-in. Columbus 31 Don in Columbus, a YouTube check-in. Rome 27 Terry in Menlo is a YouTube check-in. Chattanooga 69, the Velvet Elvis is a check-in from Las Vegas. Is that on YouTube?
Check-in from Las Vegas on YouTube, yes.
All right. And we've got Gainesville 43, David in Winder, YouTube check-in. WRYQ 747 Miko in upstate New York, checking in on YouTube. WSDW 299 Sam in Ringgold, checking in on YouTube. And finally, we have WSGA 527 Lou in, is that Cornelia?
That's what I've got.
Okay, is a YouTube check-in. And we just mentioned Kathy, so I think we're caught up.
We are caught up.
All right. With that, let's move on to check-ins from any repeater other than Flagship. Net Control, standing by.
This is WRX 8279, Chattanooga 118, checking in. This is Chattanooga 248, WSFT 846. This is Matt, Ocoee, Tennessee. Checking in and out.
This is Whiskey Sierra Foxtrot Lima 995, Atlanta 1126. Joseph in Snellville, checking in. This is WRYZ 968, Gainesville 100. Randall and Buford, check me in and check me out. This is WRPT 761, Atlanta 168, Tyrone in Jefferson.
All right, Net Control is going to go ahead and acknowledge Chattanooga 118 Stewart in East Ridge is in with us tonight. Chattanooga 248 Matt in Ocoee is in and out. Gainesville 75 Kenny in Somerville. That's a YouTube check-in. We have Atlanta 1126 Joseph in Snellville is in tonight. Gainesville 100 Randall in Buford is in and out. Atlanta 168 Tyrone in Jefferson is in with us tonight. And with that, we're going to continue on with check-ins from any repeater anywhere, including the flagship machine. So we can go ahead and take that. We can take that random dairy check-in.
Yes.
Does the dairy check-in have a call sign?
I listed it as Heifer 123.
Heifer 123. All right. We'll get that one in the log, and we'll see if there's anybody else on the flagship machine that would like to check in. Heifer 123.
Prove to him that he's
Damn it.
WRCG 694, Atlanta 785, Rick and Marietta.
He's not a very smart cow.
you prove to him that he's successful.
This is Atlanta 499.
This is WRXB 256, Atlanta 305, James Indicator. This is Atlanta 1150, WRZB 748, Tony, Kent, checking in, checking out. This is WSFF 266, Atlanta 1128, Jimmy and Canton, checking in and checking out.
This is McDonough 45, WSAI 254. Check me in, check me out. I'll be listening.
This is WRZG 694, Atlanta
Oh, I missed it.
and Marietta.
I couldn't catch that one. Hey, drop the repeater.
This is WSBT 898 Atlanta 622. Marvin in Covington, check me in and check me out. Thanks. This is 363. Check me in, check me out.
Did y'all hear 363 on that one?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
But it came in on Kate's code.
Well, we don't have a Cades 363.
I'm wondering if the 363 was part of his
Call sign.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
All right, we had a couple of check-ins that we missed there. One of them, the repeater dropped right during the time that he was giving his tactical unit number, and we missed the rest of it. And this last check-in, we heard 363, but we didn't hear the TAC number. We think that 363 was part of the call sign. So station with the 363 check-in. Would you come back again? All right, I'm going to go ahead and read the check-ins that we do have, and if we don't call your name, it's because we don't have you in a log, and we'll need for you to try it again. But we heard Atlanta 785 Rick in Marietta is in with us tonight. Atlanta 499 Philip in Ackworth is in tonight. Atlanta 305 James in Atlanta is in tonight. Atlanta 1150 Tony in Canton is in and out. Atlanta 1128 Jimmy in Canton, in and out. McDonough 45 Kai in McDonough is in and out. And Atlanta 622 Marvin in Covington, in and out. Those are the check-ins we have at this time. We'll take one more round of check-ins before we get started with the program.
This is WSCW 921, McDonough 77. Nate, checking in and out.
You're not Nate, you're right on time. Oh, that was funny in my head.
If you appreciate Justin's lighthearted jokes, leave a thumbs up on the YouTube video for us. Let's see some love.
I don't know if YouTube heard that. I was muted. So,
oh, you were muted?
Yeah. When Nate checked in, I said, I don't know that he's late. He was right on time. But
well, you got one like so far.
yeah, that's enough.
There you
That's
go.
all the encouragement I need.
There you go. Now he's going to continue.
Now that I've been reinforced, there's no end to it. All right, McDonough 77 Nate in McDonough. We've got you in log as in and out. We're going to go ahead and continue on with the program at this point. If you missed an opportunity to check in, we'll take one more round of late check-ins before we close the program. So stick around. We'll have a chance to get you in here, and you'll be able to get in the log and jump right in with us. But tonight's topic is honoring our lifetime members, and I just, we went through the roster, and I just, really appreciate the the commitment that this group of people has made to the network. Not everybody is able to contribute in a direct way. So I mean, we have a need for technical people. We have a need for video production. We have a need for radio technicians. We have a need for all kinds of things. But maybe your skills are something else, and maybe there's a way that we can apply those skills to the network. But sometimes the best way that you can contribute to something is to, if you can't give of your time, then maybe you can give up some money and help out that way. And that's one thing that a lot of these lifetime members have done, is they've contributed in a meaningful way to the advancement of this network and significantly to the growth of the network. So it's been amazing to see the growth of the membership. But one thing that does concern me is renewals. We're nearly halfway through the month of December. We'll be closing out the renewals in January. And, anybody that doesn't renew by the end of the month risks having their tactical unit number reassigned. So we understand that there are certain people that have been members for the last year and just haven't been very engaged or involved, have found other things that they want to do that just don't have an interest in renewing for another year. And that's okay. And to those folks, I would say thank you for the support for this last year. And we're glad that you did contribute the amount that you did. We're sorry that you're not renewing, but you're welcome to come back at any time. The door's not closed. So if you choose not to renew at this time because you've moved on to other things, you may come back in a year or in a few months and decide that this is something that you really want to be involved in. And that's perfectly okay. My concern is, and we've seen this in years past, where for whatever reason people thought they renewed, but they didn't. They mailed off a check, but we never got the check, or there was no communication. And so we come to the end of the year and we assume that, okay, these folks have decided that North Georgia GMRS is not what they want to do in 2025. And so we go ahead and release that group of TAC numbers. So if you don't renew, we're going to make the assumption that you're choosing not to. And we're going to go ahead and make those tactical unit numbers available for the next round of new members. And they'll be there. We have a need to recycle all of these TAC numbers for those that don't renew. So I just don't want people to be upset or surprised when it happens. I want folks to understand that if you don't renew, your tactical unit number may not be available if you choose to come back in March or April. If you don't renew because money's tight, I get it. And if that's the reason, but you still want to be involved, let us know. Let us know that you want to renew, but you can't pay until April or March. We'll figure something out. But that lets us know that we need to hold those TAC numbers. But if we don't hear from anybody, we're going to make those TAC numbers available for new members coming into 2025. So that's a concern that I have. And it's a concern because it's been an issue in the past. And I want to get in front of that with the membership so that folks understand what's going to take place, in January. So I think we've covered most of what we need to with announcements, and I've given my speech for renewals. So let's go ahead and go to the top of our list. It looks like we have Uncle Mike from up around Cherry Log.
Speaking of lifetime member.
Yeah.
Right
Uncle,
there at the top.
Right. He's one of the top. So, Uncle Mike, you have any comments for the net tonight?
I'm honored to be a lifetime member. It hasn't been that long, but I've noticed for a few years after I joined that people were helping in strange number of ways, and they were mowing, they were repairing fences, those times will come again, whether you paid your dues or not, whether you're a lifetime member or not. Remember us when equipment breaks. We're going to need help from everybody, and that means if you can mow the grounds, let me take a break, or pay somebody else's dues, or just make a contribution. Again, please do it. It takes a lot to run this thing. I was fortunate to know so many quality people. I didn't get to climb towers or pull ropes, but I was very fortunate to know to be here sometimes when we needed some help, and those times will always exist. Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to join or to be honored with a membership in a group of honorable people. It's very rewarding. It's cold up here on the mountain. I can't imagine how cold it is up on top of the mountain with a repeater. I couldn't go up there, but you guys have sounded great. I love it as much today as I did then, although I can't always get around to checking in because I got issues. I got medical problems. But anyway, thank you so much for allowing me into this thing that we call North Georgia. I'm honored to be here, gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mike. And I've got to say, the fried apple pies and the bag of apples and the miscellaneous envelopes that get passed out from time to time have been, these are all things that go a long way toward making things happen. And just having that snack, on a day under the sun, and working on a tower project, and as you mentioned, there's so many other things that people can do to contribute. So whether it's bringing a snack to a work day, or if it's showing up with a paintbrush and a bucket of paint to put a fresh coat of paint on the side of the flagship building, these are things that need to happen, and these are things that almost anybody can contribute to. If you can bring a bucket of paint, if you can bring some tools, if you can provide some funding so that we can buy the right paint and that it's all the same color. I don't know how that works if everybody shows up with a bucket of paint and some of it's white and some of it's red and some of it's yellow, and we end up with a brown building. Or worse.
It's got character.
Yeah, or pink, or who knows. But maybe it would be better in that situation if we could have, somebody go buy the paint and then everybody show up with their rollers and brushes, and we can put a coat of paint on that building. These are things that it doesn't take a highly skilled individual to push a roller across the cinder blocks.
Well, that's good, because I'm not highly skilled at painting.
Yeah, I'm not either. I mean, oftentimes when I'm involved in painting, I wear as much as I apply.
Yeah.
And so that's maybe something it's best that I keep a little distance from. But, there may be some other ways that I can contribute. So
keep the cooler stocked full of Lunchables.
And that's another thing that happens at these work jobs, at these work days, is that lunch is a big deal because we're there all day. And being able to have something there that's ready to rip open and consume quickly is very helpful. So there's just no end of ways that you can contribute beyond giving a few bucks. You can show up with a loaf of bread and some lunch meat, some mayonnaise, and you can contribute to a workday in those kind of ways. So lots of things that can be done, and lots of people have done those things on work days. So Mike has been on the spot on many occasions. So BR549, I think that's an honor both ways. It's an honor knowing you and having you a part of North Georgia GMRS.
You're here.
So thank you very much, Uncle Mike. With that, let's continue on to McDonough 22 Tim in beautiful downtown Stockbridge. Tim, do you have any comments for the net?
Well, just want to say thank you, gentlemen, for what you do. And I'm not a lifetime member, although I would like to be, but just not in the cards for me financially with my particular situation here. So like most things in my life, I've gotten on the dollar down, dollar a week plan. So I'll just continue paying the yearly dues. But I certainly understand and appreciate those who are able and do purchase the lifetime membership. I know it's a big part of the helping to support this huge network that we are happy to take advantage of. It's a great thing to be a part of, and I enjoy and will continue to be a part of it. And I guess that's it. I'll throw it back to net control. Thank you, guys.
Well, I would take this opportunity, Tim, to kind of acknowledge that, the contribution that lifetime members make is significant, and that capital infusion is helpful in, particularly when we're looking at bigger projects, replacing repeater equipment, duplexers, replacing antennas. Antennas have become crazy expensive to acquire. It used to be that we could get them for a song. Sometimes we could get them for free from sites that were being decommissioned. But heliacs and antennas, the sources for those have really kind of dried up. And we've had to purchase a few antennas here lately. And, a lifetime membership does not cover the cost. It takes more than that. So that lifetime membership is a big help when it comes to making those capital purchases. But, we also have ongoing expenses, and that's where the regular membership comes in, because the dues that the regular members pay throughout the year help to keep the ongoing and the continuing expenses covered. So there's value in just being a member, even if you're not a lifetime member. And that contribution is significant in and of its own way. So I wouldn't discount any of our members. And I would have to say that, I appreciate everyone's support for North Georgia GMRS. It's just been amazing to see, this thing that we do and how many people have come alongside of us and said, I want to be a part of that. Even if it's just for a year, even if it's just for a while, people contribute to this network in a way that allows us to continue to grow and improve. And, what we do here on Thursday nights, this isn't something that can be done by Julie and I in a spare bedroom anymore. It takes more people, it takes more skills and talent, and it takes a lot of behind-the-scenes effort. This coming in after work on Thursdays and having a bite to eat, and then, hey, let's go into the other room and do the net. It's much bigger than that, and it requires a lot more time and a lot more planning and organizing, more planning than I did this week because Jeff and Mike didn't have the list of the members to be able to share the roster with. But my point is that everybody plays a role, and Tim's been here for a long time, and he's been a very constant and very steady supporter of North Georgia GMRS. So thank you for that support, and look forward to seeing you for a number of years, and that's part of it too. So the lifetime membership's not encouraged for everyone, so I get it. So thank you, Tim. Next on the list, we have Jonathan is in and out. That brings us to Atlanta. 256 Chuck in Dawsonville. Chuck, do you have comments for the net tonight? That doesn't sound like Chuck.
That is not Chuck.
Doesn't sound like Holly either.
Were you calling me? I couldn't hear it. I got, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we called out to Chuck. Are you Chuck? I'm Atlanta 256.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. Yeah, no, I'm just sitting back here. I'm in the middle of doing three things at once. Just finished washing the dishes. But I appreciate that call out.
Well, it's good to have the dishes out of the way so that we can get on with other things. And now that we're on to other things, Chuck, do you have any comments for the net regarding lifetime members?
Well, I tell you, pretty proud of the one who's 45, and I'll be really excited to whoever's 47. Well, other than that, hey, that's awesome. Great for them. I don't know if I'd ever live long enough to enjoy a lifetime membership, but yeah, I like that.
Well, you never know what'll happen, and there may be more days in front of the cart than you realize. So it's definitely worth consideration. So, but in any case, thanks for your comments tonight, and it's good to know that the dishes are done. What about the laundry? Have you finished laundry yet tonight?
That Miss Holly had her beauty appointment today, so she got her bath brush, toenails clipped, and all smelling pretty and looking good.
She's doing way better than Chuck.
Well, then I guess she's ahead of you in that regard, so that's good to know. Looking pretty and smelling good. That's two that Holly has.
That's probably why she's soundly sleeping while Chuck does the dishes.
Yeah, I would say so.
She's had a good day.
Little prima donna thing going on there. All right, Chuck. Well, thanks for that. And with that, we're going to move on to high atop Mount Olympus. Atlanta 250, Dana in Dahlonega. Dana, do you have any comments for the net tonight?
Well, first of all, guys, I appreciate what you guys do and thoroughly enjoy the net every Thursday. The only thing I have to add is I have always viewed lifetime members as being a very respectable position. And, I encourage people that when they do hear them on air, to reach out and thank them, because you are very correct. The network thrives on those type of donation and membership levels. So just kudos to all of them from me, and I guess I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Well, Dana, thank you for those comments. And you should look at the roster of lifetime members before you say things like an honorable group. But most of them are, certainly. But there's some riffraff in there, too.
The rest of them.
Yeah, like that Gainesville 285 guy. I don't know about that one. But and then there's that 750 character.
Sorry, I've got 750 distracted over here.
Yeah. Looks like we're dealing with things, so I'll leave them alone for the moment. But other than that, I think we got some really great people in this lifetime membership roster. So it's it's one thing that I've come to appreciate is the quality and caliber of folks that we have in this the way that this group behaves and holds itself and helps one another. Somebody new comes into the fold and they ask the same question that we've seen asked 3 weeks in a row. And we address that person's questions with patience and understanding and appreciation. And I think these are the things that people see and are drawn to. I think this is what makes people come and want to be a part of North Georgia GMRS. And I couldn't be more proud of the quality of individuals that make up over 1,200 people that have become members of North Georgia GMRS this year. And I do fully expect that number will drastically decline in January as we shed off folks that choose not to renew for the new year. But throughout 2025, if we look at what has been the pattern, we will grow again in 2025. And I don't know how to speculate because I've been surprised every year. We have numbers that we can build statistics out of, but I don't know that that's what we're looking at here. We're just gonna budget for what we can reasonably expect.
Are we getting a puppy?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No.
Are we getting raises?
Well,
Jeff promised double at one point.
Yeah, he did, and I think he came through on that, didn't he?
Well, yes, I did get paid double this year.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing is when it comes to salaries, everybody that works a titled role or even an untitled role in North Georgia GMRS does it as a volunteer. There's money for materials. There's money for equipment. There's tools and things that we can to do the jobs that we do, but none of us get a paycheck. Let me break. All the folks that work for North Georgia GMRS at whatever level they work at are working as volunteers. And so all of the net control operators are doing this because this is something that they have an interest and a passion in. And I'll tell you that the obligation as a net control operator is huge. Not that I'm trying to pat my own back, but I just want to acknowledge the rest of the net control operators on North Georgia GMRS are making a huge commitment in time, but it's not just that, because every single one of our nets is a high quality, well organized, well researched, and well presented program on the network. There's no garbage here. This is all good stuff. Good information, good conversation, good relationships. And relationships, I think, are probably the most important thing that we get from a membership with North Georgia GMRS. And Dana, I think that you would agree.
Well, if people have watched the Facebook page, they're probably sick of the Dana Marshall postings. But yeah, I fully agree that whether it be the regional net like tonight, tomorrow night would be the Friday night at 9. You got Skywarn, Little Miss Radio. I mean, we got a little bit of something for just about everybody. And I think the net controllers take it seriously, and their main goal is to advance membership. So I applaud them all.
Yeah, and I just can't give enough credit to the rest of the net control group within North Georgia GMRS and the quality of the presentations that are made. It's just it's an amazing group of people to be associated with, and couldn't be more proud of being a part of North Georgia GMRS.
Well, and shout out to Dana while we're here. He's one of them, right? The commitment to host the Friday Night Simplex Challenge every Friday for how long has that been going on now?
It's been going on for quite a while.
A year and a half or something like
that?
I can't commit to even trying to play the Simplex Challenge every Friday.
And the Little Miss Radio Net, So
that's another one.
So that's another one. And I talked to Jen before all this came about, and I said, listen, you have to understand that this is a fairly large commitment, even if you're only doing it once a month. And I think that's the right frequency for the Little Miss Radio Net. They're welcome to have it more frequently if there's a need or a desire to do that. But I think once a month is the right pace for that month, for that net. But even at that, that's blocking out that day on a calendar month after month after month. And so then you get to the place where, okay, well, we'd like to go on vacation. Oh, but I need to be here Monday. Maybe we move that back to the following week. All of these things kind of come into play. And it's something that Julie and I have wrestled with too for years, is planning things like vacations, trying to be sure that we can be available for the net, and then leave on Friday morning, like we're leaving tomorrow, to go to North Carolina. Sometimes vacations take us out of town during a net, and we have to ask people to fill in, and a lot of times that works, but not always. So there was a time when taking off on vacation pretty much meant that there wasn't going to be a net until we came back. The membership has grown to the place where there are people available now that we can call on, that we can lean on, that are willing to step in and step up and take on a higher role. So that comes from having, this larger pool of people and people with availability. And that's fantastic stuff.
And then you get whatever that was that Jeff and I did last week. Isn't that right?
I thought that was a pretty good net, all in all.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. We
No.
were having fun.
Well, I mean, it was a little challenging when you're used to 3 or 4 people and dropped it down to 2.
Yep, running the same controls.
Running too many hats at once.
yeah, and even that week that you took off, Mike, that presented a little different challenge because it's been so long since I've had to drive the keyboard and actually take check-ins. And, I asked for members to check in slowly, and Bobby, being the first one, came back with a absolutely ridiculous, slow check-in. But what Bobby didn't realize was that was perfect. And what he unknowingly did was he set the pace for the rest of the night. And I can't tell you how awesome that was, because I was able to get the check-ins.
You could keep up?
Really well. Yeah. And Bobby may have thought he was being funny, but
I wouldn't expect anything less.
and I'll tell you, it was kind of funny. But at the same time,
it was like an episode from the old show Taxi.
Yeah, right? What does the yellow light mean?
Yeah, slow down.
Very good.
Oh, too funny.
So, I think all of that comes into play. Thank you for your comments, Dana. With that, we're going to continue on with Toccoa 55 Jimmy in Cashiers. Jimmy, did you have any comments for the net? All right. I think Jimmy may have been in and out. We didn't get that in log. I'm going to go ahead and show him that way. We'll mark Jimmy as in and out, and then we'll continue on with next we have Noonan 120 Carmine in Fayetteville. Carmine, you have any questions or comments for the net? That sounded just like Carmine.
Well, what I like to do is extend the thanks to all the people out there that put the time and the effort in. That are strictly volunteers. Hats off to them. They do an excellent job. They should be highly commended. That's for sure, because it's dedication. Like I said, nobody receives a check. They do it on their own time, and a lot of these individuals work full-time jobs and got a family. So, only thing I can say is I appreciate the whole network. I turned 1 year's membership. I had 1 year, November the 18th, and it's been nothing but positive. And the people I met have been nothing but 5-star. That's about all I got to say.
Yeah, and the volunteers, and not just the volunteers here that work on tonight's program, but all the volunteers. We've got folks that are technicians that are out working and maintaining equipment. We've got folks that are doing research and development. We've got the network engineer who does a lot of work behind the scenes, has made tremendous improvements to the audio quality throughout the network. An effort that is bigger than it seems. All right, so dialing in audio levels throughout the network is something that we struggled with for a very long time, and in a linking system that we used that was provided by an outside group, getting their technicians to help us dial in audio was fleeting. We'd get them for 10 minutes at a time. Well, you can't do good work in a short window like that. And by having Atlanta 810 engaged at the level that he has been, he's been able to spend the amount of time that it takes to do the work well and have an effective and well-balanced audio system throughout the entire network. And that's nothing to make light of, because we just couldn't accomplish that until John came around. So there's a lot of stuff that happens that folks just are completely unaware of. And there again, as net control operators, John and Victoria have hosted the Youth Net for several years now, even though month after month the net oftentimes has very, very low turnout. Half or more of the turnout is their own kids. They've committed to making that available to the families of North Georgia GMRS Network, and the efforts involved in Monday night's net with Santa coming. It's not a small task to coordinate and get that set up so that there is a node at the North Pole for Santa to operate, the testing, the validations, and the work that goes into getting that set up and operating well for the North Pole. That's not a small task, and my hat's off to our network engineer for the efforts that he makes. And
thank you, John,
in making all this happen. So thanks, Carmine, for your comments. With that, I'd like to continue on with Atlanta 26 Flip in the beautiful Druid Hills. Flip, do you have any questions or comments for the net tonight?
Hey guys, yeah, I resemble that remark about the riffraff. I think I fall in the riffraff camp of the Life members, but I'm happy to do so, and very fortunate to have the capital to do that, and hopefully be able to help out more in 2025 with my time. So I look forward to doing that as well. But you guys do a great job with it, and the network is such a great network for everybody that is a part of it, and I appreciate what you guys do. Back to you.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that you may have some more time available coming up. I think we have a role. We have a chair.
He can come back to the studio.
Yeah, we've got a chair available for Flip. So you'll have to let me know what your availability is, and I think we can make something happen here. So good deal. Glad to have you on tonight. And yeah, if you're going to be more available, that's going to be exciting stuff. And that's part of it. Is Flip has he has a radio presence. He has a skill as an operator, and he has a lot of things that he can speak intelligently about, which makes him a great net control operator. So glad to have you take on a larger role if you can. With that, let's continue on to Atlanta 1130. We've got James in Marietta. James, do you have any comments for the net tonight? All right, not hearing James. We're going to go ahead and show him as in and out, and we're going to continue right along. Next on a roster, we have Chattanooga 118 Stewart in East Ridge. Stuart, any questions or comments for the net?
Hey, no particular questions or comments. Well, maybe. I am in the process of moving. We don't know where yet. We don't have any reason to other than I just don't want to be sitting here next to the interstate anymore. And I was thinking about just dropping my membership. But I feel like I should not do that, and I will not do that. So I will be signing back up. And that's all I got to say. Back to you.
Oops, sorry. Well, that's great news, and that's one of those circumstances in life. All right, so you've sold the house, and you've got to make arrangements to buy a new house. I know that you've been looking, and I don't know exactly what area you're looking in. I've got a pretty good feeling there'll be coverage wherever you land, and but I mean, what if there's not? Maureen Alley is a lifetime member, and a year or so into her lifetime membership, circumstances came about and her family needed to move to Oklahoma. And so she had to make the decision. Does she go to Oklahoma with the family? Does she stay in Georgia? She's made the investment in a membership. Well, she went to Oklahoma. Family is definitely first. And I think she made the right call. She does check in from time to time using Zello. But it's just not, Zello's just not the thing to if you're going to try to listen on a regular basis. So we've talked about a number of things about whether or not we could provide a node for an operator in Oklahoma. We've talked about other ways of getting her, back into the mix. And, she's already made a significant investment, and it just doesn't seem right to ask her to pay for the hardware to make something like that happen. So what is the right answer? What support do we owe Maureen in this circumstance? And the same thing goes for regular members. All right, so if you're going to move out of the area, does a membership make sense? It might not. But at the same time, if you do choose to continue on with your membership, you kind of know what your money is being used for. All right, you know what we're going to do with it. I hope that you feel like we're using it well, that we're not wasting it, that we're not being frivolous, that we're not being unwise with those funds. We try to be very good stewards of those funds and not buy stupid stuff. We try to keep our expenses to a minimum. When it comes to things like paying for hotel rooms, for Hamfests and stuff like that, we look for the best rates that we can get, and it's not always the most convenient location. So we make efforts at keeping those costs down. And like, for instance, at Stone Mountain, we only had one night of a hotel room there, and that was enough. That worked out. So we do try to keep wherever we can our costs to an absolute minimum, and try to be good stewards of the funds that are available. So appreciate that, Stuart, and hope that you feel like that is a good investment, and hope that you're able to find a new home somewhere within the footprint of North Georgia GMRS and remain an active and contributing member. I know you got a lot of irons in the fire, and so hopefully GMRS Radio will remain one of them. All right, with that, we'll continue on with Joseph in Snellville, Atlanta 1126. Joseph.
Yeah, this is Joseph, Atlanta 1126. Thank you for allowing me to participate. This is only my second meeting with the net. Became a member of North Georgia GMRS in November. Today happens to be my 12th wedding anniversary, and my wife, Atlanta 1127, kind enough to let us go to dinner last night so I could be here tonight to participate. I'd like to thank everyone who's made all these tremendous efforts, because being a new member, it's not something that I was aware of as to all of the contributions that have been made for the system, but I am very proud that I can be a member of such a large group of folks. I understand this is one of the largest in the country. And so I appreciate being here, and I hope to
Pretty big
make
area.
personal contacts with many of you as time goes on. I know that during this time of the year, Christmas is a crazy time to be doing anything except trying to keep away from the highways.
Let's see if John can
So that's my story so far. I appreciate being here, and back to you.
Well, very cool. Atlanta 1127, shuffling over the anniversary evening, so that you could be a part of the net tonight. That's a very cool thing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. It kind of snuck up on me. Remnants of this head cold that had me down last week. Let me break. All right. I think I'm back. It's one thing that Julie and I very often, we've always been real flexible with our holidays and stuff. So, like for instance, when it comes to, both of our birthdays are in February, and our anniversary is also in February. Rather than trying to figure out how to do 3 different holiday events or 3 different functions in February, we very often will just pick one weekend to celebrate birthdays, anniversary, and do something that we both are going to enjoy. And usually that something is sharing time with other people. And February is kind of a roll of the dice as to whether the weather is going to be good enough to have a party, or that's what I really want to do. We'll see what happens. But what a cool thing to shift the anniversary dinner to yesterday so that you can hang out with us tonight. I hope that we hear Atlanta 1127 on the air at some point, and can contribute and include her in the log. Some of our members will do a relay check-in if their spouse is hanging out there listening with. So that'd be good. But glad to have you along. Thanks for checking in tonight, and I hope that North Georgia GMRS is something that you find interesting enough to give up more than just an anniversary dinner with. So tell the missus that we appreciate her making that contribution to the network.
Maybe we'll see him out at an event one of these times.
Yeah, we're going to Tech Fest to January
coming
11.
Up. Yep.
So we'll be at the Tech Fest. For those of you that like to meet with other North Georgia GMRS members and help to put faces with those voices that you hear on the air, Tech Fest is a great place to do that. And what's cool about Tech Fest is admission is free. So it's just the drive up to the Gwinnett County Fairgrounds on Saturday, January the 11th. Maybe we'll see you there. All right, let's continue on. We've got Atlanta 168, Tyrone in Jefferson. Tyrone, you got any comments for the net tonight?
Who was that?
All right, we're going to go ahead and show Tyrone as in and out and continue on with Atlanta 785, Rick and Marietta. Rick, do you have any questions or comments for the net tonight?
Mic check, mic check.
All right, mic check. Mic check, do you have a GMRS call sign?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you on that last part.
Do you have a GMRS call sign, or does your family have one? All right. Well, let me just go ahead and welcome you to the airwaves. Maybe you don't have a license, and you do need to have a license as a GMRS radio operator. That's something your family can do. With GMRS radio, a single license within the family covers all the members of the family. So you could ask your mom or dad to get a GMRS license, or maybe they already have one. But with that, then you would be allowed to use the radio and talk on the air with us. And you would be welcome on the North Georgia GMRS Network. But we're not allowed to talk with you if you don't have a license. So that being the case, I just want to give you some information and let you know that I would encourage you to pursue that license. And hopefully we can get you on the air, properly licensed and engaged with the network. So I'm not sure what your name is, but I'm going to call you Mike Check because that's what we heard. And Mike Check, hope that you have a great evening. Continue to listen in, and hope that this is something that you find interesting enough to pursue and get a GMRS license, and maybe even eventually become a member of North Georgia GMRS Network. If you want some more information, you can Google NGGMRS.org, and you can find out all kinds of stuff about who we are and what we're all about. So good evening, Mike Check. And with that, I'm going to continue on. I think next we have, did we call out to Atlanta 499? Philip?
We are to Philip now.
All right. Philip, are you there?
Yeah, good evening, guys. I'm right here listening to the net. I hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, it's a, we're having a great time here hanging out, playing radio with about, 5-6 dozen of our radio friends?
Yes. A little over 5 dozen.
So, and with that, we're just interested in whether you have any comments for the net tonight. The topic tonight is lifetime members, and you may not be a lifetime member, but what are your thoughts, and how long have you been a member? Is this something you think that you'll renew and stick with?
Oh, yeah, definite. I've been a member since probably the beginning of summer this year, and I have to say that the NGMRS network has become a big part of my life. Let me break. I have really enjoyed being on the network and making new friends and getting to know people over the time that I've been a member. So, yes, I have actually renewed my membership for next year and added 3 more family members. So I'm looking forward to enjoying the network, and just want to say thank you to everybody who makes it possible for all of us to enjoy the network. And just a big thanks and a shout out to everyone that puts in the hard work and the hours. We know you guys do hard work, and you all deserve just a thank you from everybody.
Philip, I do appreciate that, and I know that all of us here, as well as many beyond, appreciate that accolade and that acknowledgement. And that's, I would say that's what we do it for. But the truth is, we just love playing on radio, and this is something that we very much enjoy. We would do it if we had 10 listeners. We'd probably do it with less. But having the large audience that we have, and one thing that we've learned is that there's a significant number of people that are just monitoring, that are not checking in. And we don't know what that number is, but we do know, based on conversations that we hear throughout the week from people that were not on the air during the net, we know that the audience is much bigger than just the folks that check in. So that is something that really inspires and drives us and challenges all of us to do the best job that we can and try to produce a quality show for the audience, try to produce a something that people are going to want to tune into and listen to. And I think a big part of that comes from the relationships, that we meet these new people. We maybe we only talk to folks on the air, but we get to know folks, and some of these folks are really terrific people. And I couldn't even begin to name some of the huge contributors, not only just in things that make North Georgia GMRS able to operate on the air, but there's also huge contributors, folks that are willing to help new users get a radio programmed, folks that are I've seen people give radios away. I've given a couple away. I found a couple of radios here recently that I forgot that I had that are ripe for just that. So who knows? Maybe I'll hand a radio out at the Tech Fest. But that's the kind of thing. The relationships that we develop, the things that we learn, and the people that we meet along the way, is what drives us. So glad to have you along, and look forward to hopefully being able to meet you face to face. If not at Tech Fest, there will be several other events through 2025. Just tune in and listen, and we'll let you know where we're going to be and when we'll be there. Probably going to be at Dalton Ham Fest in February. So that's something that's on our radar. If you can't make the January event, look for us in Dalton in February. We'll talk more about that when we get closer. Thanks for that, Philip, and thanks for expanding your commitment with the membership, including more family members. That's awesome. Next, we have Atlanta 305, James in Atlanta. James, do you have any questions or comments for the net? All right, not hearing anything from James. We're going to continue on, and let me go ahead and acknowledge some of these late check-ins and YouTube check-ins that we have. Looks like right here at Chattanooga 84. Did we ever acknowledge McDonough 77?
We did.
We did?
That was Nate that wasn't late.
Nate wasn't late.
He was not late.
He was right on time. That's right.
You're in the right place.
Okay, so Chattanooga 84. Jim in Hickson is a YouTube check-in. These are all YouTube check-ins. We have Dallas 69 Brett is a new lifetime member as of today. That's awesome. Thank you, Brett. That would be number 46. So we were interested in who was going to be 45 and 47.
We're one closer.
Well, we're soon going to find out who 47 is. I think I know who 47 is. But we'll see. We'll see if anybody trumps my idea. Atlanta 964 Richard in Duluth, YouTube check-in. These are all YouTube check-ins, so I don't need to keep saying that. WSBS 384 Mark is a guest from Adairsville. WRKV 579 Ed is a guest from, is that Leander, Texas?
Leander, Texas again. Welcome back, Ed.
Fantastic. We have WRYR 434. Bradley is a guest checking in on YouTube. We have Dallas 64. Bradley is a former member.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Glad to have you along, Bradley, and hope you're enjoying the program. Dallas 64 Josh in Dallas checking in on YouTube. Atlanta 927 Connie in Buford is a YouTube check-in. WRYH 989 Bob is from Salem, Massachusetts. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Bob. Chattanooga 206 John in Dandridge is a YouTube check-in. Atlanta 261 Scott in Holly Springs. Let me break. A little tickle in the throat. Sorry about that, Scott. Scott is a YouTube check-in. Chattanooga 190 Cliff in Colioca.
You didn't even stutter that time. Good.
And it's got a line through it, so it's kind of hard to read. Glad to have you along tonight, Cliff. Atlanta 420. William in Roswell, also a lifetime member. WSFL 328. Dale in Imlay, Michigan. YouTube. Atlanta 1158. Nicholas in Jasper. Checking in on YouTube. Let me break.
you're talking about.
All right.
It gets you.
All right. With that, we're at the end of the roster. So at this time, we're going to take late check-ins. Anyone wishing to check in to the North Georgia GMRS Network, any questions or comments, the floor is open. Net Control, standing by.
This is WROB 245 Atlanta 849. Pamela in Duluth checking in with comment, and Atlanta 848 Ernest, and he's in and out.
It's getting you.
It is.
Net Control, Atlanta 1402, WRKN 464, otherwise known as Lifetime Member 17. Check me in and out, guys. I'm going to bed.
SDS 75 checking in.
I didn't catch that. Something. Yeah. Something 75, I thought.
This is Atlanta 908, WSFE 314. I have a question as to understanding what checking in and out means. I'm a fairly new member.
Good question. If somebody's at flagship, wouldn't Gary be able to see them on the? Yeah. All right. Wasn't sure if I stepped on somebody or if there was another check-in in there, but I think we're going to go ahead and call it right here. So we've got... I'm not on the air?
Not going out.
How about now?
Now you're going out.
Yeah, okay. All right. Let's go ahead and call it right here. We have Atlanta 849. Pamela in Duluth is in with a comment. We also have Atlanta 848 Ernest in Duluth, in and out. We have Atlanta 1402 Todd in Sugarville, a lifetime member number 17. He's going to go hang out with the Sandman and do. Never mind. All right.
He's headed to bed.
Yeah, yeah. So we heard WSEF and we heard a burst of static and we think we heard a 7.5. So it came from the Mount Roosevelt repeater, but we missed part of that. We think that's going to be a guest check-in, but station WSEF with a 7.5 somewhere in your identity. That's all we have at this time. And let me go ahead and acknowledge WSFE. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Atlanta 908 David in Marietta with a question. David, I'm going to go ahead and address your question right here. It's a great question. It's one that I would imagine there's a lot of new users that may not understand. And so from the ham side of things, you'll recognize right away the term short time. So when somebody checks in to a net in their short time, generally that indicates that that person just wants their name listed in a log, but they don't have any comments for the discussion. They just want to let it be known that they're there listening. Short time often implies that they're not going to be able to stick around for the whole net. And this net is a particularly long one, and it's pretty reasonable that people won't be able to stick around for the whole thing. I get it. Lots of people just like to have their name listed in a list somewhere, and so that's part of what In and Out does. Is it gets your name in the log. You're registered as a member of this particular net. If you check in and out, we'll acknowledge you at the beginning of the check-in, but then that's it. But if you're in, then we'll call on you and ask you for comments, or if you have questions. So hopefully that answered your question, but just in case it just led to another question, I will call on you when we get to you here in roster.
Let me just add one, well, maybe it's 3 sentences to that. I get the question in the YouTube chat decently often. I got it a couple of times tonight about what does in and out mean for YouTube check-ins. And so for all of our viewers, listeners on YouTube, you are and can only be checked in and out if you're checking in through the chat with me on the stream. Now, I suppose there's an exception to that. If you maybe missed the check-in process on RF earlier and you want us to call on you later, you can let me know that separately. But if you're throwing your call out in the log, you are and only can be in and out.
Yeah, and I suppose, let's break and we'll come right back. And there have been occasions where comments, from the YouTube chat have made it into the conversation on the air. But sometimes that's really challenging to do. And really the only way that can happen is if we have enough people in here to be able to monitor the chats and maintain the airways. So I'm busy enough on a Thursday night on the radio that I don't even have any periphery awareness of the chat. I don't have it up on any of my screens. And quite frankly, it would be very distracting to me to try to keep up with what's going on in chat and also conversations on the air. So oftentimes Mike and or Jeff will be monitoring the chat, and if they see something that's pertinent that is worth bringing to conversation, they certainly will. So even though you're in and out in the chat on YouTube, basically that just means I'm not going to call on you and ask you a question because there's not a way for you to respond.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're out. It just means that Mike and Jeff have to filter any comments that are in the chat and determine whether or not they need to bring that to awareness on the air. And sometimes they do. So if you have something that's pertinent to the conversation at hand and you want to throw that in the chat, we may be able to go ahead and bring that to light. So I want to break real quick and see if we can get this WSEF something 75. Let's see if we can get this check-in here. So we'll break for that, and then we'll go to Pamela here in just a moment. Net control standing by.
Good evening.
WSEF 675?
Yeah.
And that's a guest? I didn't get anything else off of that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
This is Atlanta 420 WRFS 771. I checked in on YouTube, but just wanted to let you know I am on RF there.
Okay, noted.
This is WSES 675. My name is George, Hammond, Tennessee.
Hammond, Tennessee.
That's what I heard.
All right, I think we got it that time. WSEF 675, Josh in Hammond, Tennessee. Glad to have you along tonight, Josh. I'll come back to you here in just a moment, but let's first go to Atlanta 849 Pamela in Duluth. Pamela, tonight's conversation is about honoring lifetime members. Do you have any questions or comments?
Well, yes, I think it's great what everybody does, and my thoughts are, besides all the technicians that y'all do and the nets we have, I thought about the fact that we have the Jeep Fest, what all goes into helping put that together. Also, the Stone Mountain Fest we have, and then you have the Tech Fest coming up in January, and I think whoever's working on that, we need to give them some thanks for all they do. And there's, let me break. And also, there's a lot of us that helped with the barbecue that's put on in April also. And since I'm not a lifetime member, that's something I'm able to help with And I enjoyed that, and all the others that volunteered to help put that together, make it a great success. Let me break. And as far as working on repairing the towers, I wish I was closer by, because I'd love to fix you a meal and bring you something really good and hot that you would definitely enjoy. So maybe the time comes up and I hear about it, we can work that out. Let me break again. And I heard Atlanta 499 Phillip saying that he added some members from his family. And I met his wife, Carrie, at our luncheon, and she has a good voice for the radio. So I'm glad that she decided to do that, and they're going to stay with us. And one more thing, I just wanted to add something about the luncheon. Let me break. That people can get in touch with me, and I'm on Facebook, and can let me know about attending that, so I can make sure that they have enough people to take care of us. We have a great group, because should have a good time, and I will send it back to you. I hope you got all that.
All right, Pamela. Yes, and you know, it's a challenge sometimes in coordinating some of these work days, just because you know, when there's work to be done at a tower site, especially if there's going to be somebody on the tower, we kind of try not to make that too widely known, because we can't have a lot of distraction on a job like that. If anybody's on the tower, everybody that's on that job site needs to be focused. So there's no room for looky-loos and hangouts and people that just come to see what's going on. It becomes a safety problem. And so some work days that we have, we just can't make it widely known, because we can't risk having a lot of people show up that are not going to be there to help. You know, it's one thing to have somebody show up and drop off a bag of fried apple pies and visit for 10 minutes and then leave. But to have people bring if we've got a peanut gallery full of lawn chairs, that tends to be more distracting than productive. And we've learned that we need to kind of really regulate who we invite to some of these work sites. But then again, if we're going to have a day where we have if it's a work day at Flagship, and we're going to paint the building and nobody's going to be climbing, then everybody could certainly come to that, because now we don't have the safety concerns. All right, I don't have to make sure everybody's got a hard hat. I don't have to make sure that we have a zone clear for the tower and any climber that might be on it. If it's just a matter of paintbrushes and rollers and buckets and people making mess of things, you know, I don't see why we couldn't have a fairly large gathering for an event like that. So as time comes on and we get closer to making something like that happen, maybe we'll make a widely known announcement for people to come and explore. It'd be a great opportunity to see what makes up a repeater and you know, what a duplexer is. You know, the duplexers that you pick up on eBay or Amazon for your Woshi KGB radio repeater, whatever that thing is, that's not the same thing. It kind of works the same way, but it's that we're not even talking apples and oranges. We're talking bowling balls and grapefruit. So it'd be a cool opportunity for a lot of folks that are just curious and would like to come and look and be able to visit a site. That'd be a great way to do that. So, Pamela, I think that's a fantastic idea. And we do have some events coming up. We're going to be at Dalton Ham Fest. We're going to be at the Tech Fest. There may be a handful of other things coming up through the year. I don't know what the picnic is going to be this year. Let me break. But I'm fairly certain there will be one. So we'll just have to wait and see what the announcement is on that.
I'm already hungry.
Oh yeah. So that'll be a good time. And you know, I'm sure we'll bring Vanguard, and we'll be an opportunity for people to explore what the studio environment is that we're in right now. So that's always fun. Thank you for your comments, Pamela. With that, we're going to continue on. Let's go to our guest check-in tonight, Josh, WSEF 675 in Hammond. Josh, do you have any questions or comments for the net?
WSEF 675, wanted to correct you on that. It's Harriman, Tennessee.
Harriman.
Connected to the Roosevelt Tower in Rockwood.
Harriman.
My question earlier was, I noticed you said you was able to tell we're talking from the Roosevelt Tower. I'm just curious how you're able to tell.
Well, Josh, that's a great question. And so our linking system, and you can do this too. You can go to northgeorgiagmrs.org, NGGMRS.org, and once you're there, you can kind of scroll down onto the page, and there is a portion of that will show you a link to our GMRS map. Let me. Oh yeah. If you're looking at YouTube, you'll see the map. And one of the features of that map, and of course it's not zoomed in very well on our display, but one of the features on that map is that when a repeater becomes active, the icon for that repeater changes color. So if you're looking at our map, you'll notice that none of the repeaters are changing color when I talk because I'm not on a repeater. I'm on all of the repeaters through the linking system. So, but when anybody responds to me, we see the repeater icon for whatever that traffic is generating from. That repeater lights up, and we're able to get a general idea of where that traffic is coming from. And it's helpful because for us to be able to say that we heard somebody on the Roosevelt repeater kind of narrows down for the listeners who it might have been that was trying to check in that didn't get in. So we've changed the entry in the log to Harriman, and thank you for making that correction. And thanks for that question. That was a good question. Do you have anything else for us, Josh?
Another small question, if you don't mind, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there any other repeaters other than Roosevelt in my area that's linked?
He's not far from Cades Cove.
Yeah, the Cades Cove repeater would be another one that you could try. I'm not sure exactly where you're at, but there again, if you go to that linking map, you'll see throughout the Chattanooga, Knoxville area, there's a handful of repeaters. So depending on specifically where you're at, based on the quality of your signal on Roosevelt, I would say that you've got a really good shot to the Roosevelt machine. Cades Cove is another good option, perhaps for you. I don't know if White Oak would be within range of you or not, but there's a number of repeaters throughout that region, so not only do we have the map on our webpage, but if you're looking at our webpage and you see that icon for the map and you click on the title there, that will take you to the actual map. Right next to that icon is another one with a picture of a tower, and if you click on that one, that will give you a list of all of the North Georgia GMRS repeaters by their name and their frequency and PL tones required to program them. So a couple of good resources for new users to explore on the NGGMRS.org website. I encourage all the new folks and the old ones to go check that out. All right, with that, well, let's see. Josh, a couple of great questions. And the thing is about these questions, if Josh is asking the questions, there's probably a handful of other people that have the same question in mind. So it's not just a matter of answering the question for Josh. We're potentially answering the question for others as well. So I'm going to ask Josh if he has any more questions.
I don't have any more questions. I was just going to say that I'm less than 4 miles by air to Roosevelt.
Well, your signal sounds perfect. I mean, it's full quiet. There's no noise in it whatsoever. So that proximity is evident in that. So you can try those other locations. Cades Cove would be a good one to try. And, you know, if you're going to be mobiling in the Chattanooga area, there's a handful of repeaters in that area you could program into your radio so that when you're in that area, you can go ahead and try those as well. You know, I monitor Flagship pretty much exclusively in the vehicle and here on the property. But when I'm traveling around, I've got all the repeaters programmed into my radio. And so when Flagship starts to get scratchy, then I take a look at where I'm at and start thinking about what is another repeater maybe I should switch to so that I've got a better signal. Well, for instance, whenever I go down to visit the Hobbit, I very often halfway or 2/3 of the way there will switch to the Noonan repeater and monitor that the rest of the way in. So you might take a look at some of those Chattanooga area repeaters. We don't have really anything the other side of Knoxville, at least not yet. Time will tell. We are a growing
We'll see
network.
what 2025 brings.
That's right. Probably no new repeaters, right, Jeff?
He's heard that before.
All right, Josh. Well, thanks for your questions. And with that, let's go on to Atlanta 908. David. Oh, that was David.
Well, no, we talked to David
no,
earlier.
You went out of order.
Oh, I did. All right. Well, David, do I have any follow-up with you?
Hey, this is WSCS 685 again. I've got one more question,
All right.
if you don't mind.
Yep.
We can move on.
All right, Josh, go ahead with one more question. David's not answering, so we're going to go ahead and let you take his spot. And I think David's probably done with us for the evening. So go ahead, Josh.
Thank you. I was going to ask, there's an amateur club in my county. They had told me if I become a member with them, I will become a member with North Georgia GMRS, since you all have a tower or a spot on the tower up there. Can you reflect on that?
Yes, we do have an agreement with the, I believe it's the Roan Amateur Radio Club. And I don't know the particulars of that agreement, but I do know that our presence on that Roan Amateur Club tower includes a certain number of complimentary memberships. So when you become a member with that club, they can comp the membership to North Georgia GMRS through that agreement. So you're on to something, and that's not a bad way to go. If you want to become a member of that radio club, I would encourage you to do that. So good questions all the way around. All right, so that brings us to the end of our list. Did we not acknowledge Brandon yet?
Brandon, our guest from YouTube, snuck in. So.
All right, so we've got WSFR246 Brandon from Royston is a YouTube check-in. He's our tail gunner tonight.
He's the last one.
So all right, so that is, holy cow, how did we get to 79? Is that number right?
I just kept taking check-ins. They just kept coming.
All right, well, there we are. Let me find my page. Uh-oh. Oh, no. It was here a minute ago. I swear. It's not that I'm not prepared. That's I'm disorganized. All right, at this time, this will conclude the North Georgia GMRS Regional Net. Tonight we had a total of
79
chickens, including net control. We will now be returning the repeaters back to normal use. Everyone who signed in should sign out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And remember, comments on the YouTube channel show engagement and with the video, and they help the channel to grow. There's one more net this year, so we'll see you all next Thursday night. Don't forget to check out Hobbit Communications. The holiday season is here, and you've got time left if you'd like to order from Hobbit Communications. There is free shipping and 10% off with the promo code GMRS. So be sure and check out Hobbit Communications. That's 2 B's, 2 T's, hobbitcommunications.com. Memberships and renewals. If you are thinking of becoming a member, go ahead and do it now. Your membership will cover the remainder of 2024 and all of 2025. For those that are already members, please get your renewal in before the end of the month, or communicate with either Gary or myself that you would like to continue as a member beyond 2024 so that we don't recycle your TAC number. We may reassign TAC numbers early in January. So if you want to preserve your TAC number, but you're not financially in a spot to write that check, we get it. And but you got to let us know. You got to communicate with us, and we'll make something happen so that you can keep that number. Thank you for allowing us to serve as your net control this evening. Good night, everyone. This is Atlanta 946 WQIR 514. My name is Justin.
And this is WRWM 344, Blue Ridge 63. My name is Mike.
And Atlanta 750 WRMR 367. My name is Jeff.
We are North Georgia GMRS Network.
And we are clear. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.